Good morning and welcome to the show. I have two ladies in the studio this morning from the City Arts Co-op. Is that right? City Arts Co-op? Did I say that right? Mm-hmm. I have Margaret Webster and Heather Clements, and you're both directors down there at City Arts Co-op. What exactly is City Arts Co-op? Now, I've visited there a few times, so it's kind of a rhetorical question, but for the benefit of our audience, what is City Arts Co-op and what do you do there?
Well, it's a cooperative, so it's run by everyone who is a director there. We have about 20 right now. And we share the space and we share the responsibilities of helping the place run. So we have artists, we have dancers, we have designers, videographers, and we all run the place and share the space.
Run the place and share the space. That's a great motto.
That just popped in.
We'll have to remember that.
Yeah, I know, you'll have to remember that. You need to put that on a business card
Right,
or something.
exactly.
You know? Now, Margaret, you run a business out of there too, don't you?
I sure do. Yes, absolutely.
And what's your business?
We do 2D and 3D animations for different clients, local and national, and we do video production as well. But you know, the real advantage for us is oftentimes our business, you kind of get, you know, stuck in a space with a computer and you don't see people all day. Well, the best thing about the co-op is we see people all the time, and we see really creative people, and we have a chance to really connect with other people with different ideas and different points of view, and it has been amazing for us. It's
it is
really
sort of a little cultural center right downtown there. On my few visits there, I've met a really eclectic group of people there. And now you got a great little coffee bar too, so that's kind of cinches it for the coffee addict out there.
That we do. Matt's Good Coffee.
I know, that's awesome stuff there. Now, it's kind of a resource to the community then, isn't it? I mean, people can come down there and, you know, I guess it takes a little extra effort to be human, right? That you have to, you know, maybe engage in the arts from time to time, or maybe support the arts in some way, shape, or form. I know you're an accomplished artist and hoop instructor too, because you gave me a lesson not too long ago. Which was big fun for everyone else except me, because I was the object of their laughter. But also you're a painter as well, right?
My degree's in painting. Actually, I've been doing a lot of paper cutting and drawing over the past few years. So I sell my work and I do commissioned work as well, and I also teach art classes at the co-op.
Now, Margaret, you guys have an event coming up soon, and actually several events coming up soon, and one of them features art. It's an art sale, right? And another one is some sort of laser show, is that right?
It's not a laser show, it's a projection art show.
Projection art show. We're going to run off to the local weather, but on the other side of that, let's kind of drill down into that and figure out what's going on down there and get some people down there to enjoy what goes on there at the City Arts Co-op. And we'll be right back after your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm. westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. We're talking about City Arts Co-op. We're here with Heather and Margaret, who are both directors, right? You direct a place and share the space, right?
Yes,
that right?
That's right. Yep.
Now you got a couple special events that are coming up soon, and I understand on the 20th, is that it? The half-off art sale?
Yes.
What's that all about? What times it start?
Well, it's the 9th annual Half-Off Art Show, and it will feature dozens of artists, not just artists that are part of the cooperative, but we invite any local regional artists to participate. So there will be dozens of artists, I'd say well over 1,000 pieces of art, maybe 2, and all of the art will be sold for half off the original price, and it'll be Saturday, September 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can preview Thursday and Friday before, the 18th and 19th, from 1 to 6 p.m., so that you can kind of like make a list of the pieces you want, and then show up early on Saturday and grab them up before anybody else does, because it's well attended.
Will we be able to identify the ones that will be on sale? I mean, is everything on sale or just selected pieces?
On the preview dates, yeah, almost everything in the entire building will be half off. There's one temporary exhibit area that will be clearly marked as not half off, but everything else will be half off.
Well, that's great, especially if you're like me and you're trying to decorate a house on the cheap. And I am cheap. Now, Margaret, I've got here in my hand a press release from you guys about Public Eyesore, spelled S-O-A-R, ready to flip the switch. Now, we kind of teased that in the last segment. It's not a laser show, but it's a projection art show.
Right, it is.
Can you kind of describe that for us, what we could expect to see?
Sure. We have begged, borrowed, and well, we didn't steal them, but we've
and absconded with.
Absconded with. That's exactly right. About 20 projectors from the local area. We've got some folks that owe us favors, so they're going to allow us to use their projectors. We have gotten the permission to block off Laverne Avenue, so we'll be blocking off the street.
So like a block party.
Right, exactly. And we'll be setting up the 20 projectors to project on the buildings in the area around City Arts Cooperative.
Oh, how cool is that?
Right, so it's cool that way, but the really cool part is the stuff that will be projected by the projectors. We're going to be having art from our artists at City Arts Cooperative that's going to be featured at the show. We are soliciting for submissions of stills, animations, or video.
Is there any particular theme or anything goes?
There's no theme. This is our first year. We've never done it, so it's just whatever somebody thinks is cool, send it to us, and as long as it's rated G, we'll probably get it up on the wall.
G-rated, family event.
Right, exactly. And the other cool thing is there's going to be interactive exhibits as well. So we're going to have laser and lights set up where you can trigger them with a drum. You hit the drum, the lasers come on, and that sort of thing.
That sounds so awesome.
So you're creating art.
So it's not just for adults. You could actually bring kids to something like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and that again is what day? We're on the
26th and 27th of September.
Okay,
absolutely.
And what time does that start?
It starts at 7:30. It goes till 10:30 because it's got to be dark.
Do we need a ticket, or do we just show up?
It is free.
And if we want to contribute, how do we get in touch with you?
You can get us on our website. It's publiceyesore.net. Or you can go to Facebook and put in Public Eyesore, and it's SOAR.
Publiceyesore.net. Ladies, thank you so much. We're so out of time, it's not funny, but Margaret Webster, Heather Clements from City Arts Co-op, thanks so much for coming on the show, and good luck with your events.
Thanks. You.
And we'll be right back after your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hi, I'm David Lovett, and this is your Mad Hatter Minute. Shock absorbers and struts wear out pretty slowly, but you shouldn't take them for granted. Your shock absorbers and struts do a very important job, and you need to pay attention to them. Shocks and struts keep your tires on the road, and your tires are what allow you to safely handle your car through turns, over bumps, and even stop in time. When your shocks are worn out, your tires bounce excessively over bumps. The car will lunge forward when you brake, it'll lunge backwards when you accelerate, and overall give you poor performance and poor handling. All of this hurts the ability for you to control your car and wears down on other suspension parts. Replacing worn shocks and struts saves money in the long run. We generally recommend replacing shocks and struts at 50,000 miles. Sometimes special needs arise for heavy-duty shocks. If you do a lot of towing or if you do a lot of hauling, a standard shock won't be sufficient. You need to come in and let us replace it with a heavy-duty shock. This will give you more stability and more control while you drive your vehicle. If you own a performance sports car, you need to have performance suspension and performance shocks and struts to give you the extra handling around the corners and curves. It's really a matter of safety. Lastly, experts advise replacing all 4 shocks or all 4 struts at the same time so you have the same stability and same control at all 4 wheels. I'm David Lovett, and that has been your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hey folks, this is Joshua Brown with Mad Hatter on 23rd Street. Is your check engine light on? If it is, text MADHAT28, that's MADHAT28, to 24247 and we'll check it for free.
Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dr. Tara Griffin from Emerald Coast Dental Sleep Medicine, and we're going to dispel some facts or myths about sleep apnea.
Yes.
Now, one of the myths that you hear about sleep apnea is it's just really snoring, because almost everybody snores, right?
Yes, snoring is very common.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is a myth that not everyone that snores has sleep apnea. It is very common, though, when you do have sleep apnea to snore.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is you could stop breathing up to 400 times a night when you have obstructive sleep apnea. Snoring, however, you may not stop breathing. It might be shallow breathing and arousals during your sleep where, you know, it can leave you really tired during the day, but it's not necessarily the same thing as sleep apnea.
So sleep apnea, you actually stop breathing.
You do stop breathing, and you stop breathing for, on average, 10 to 30 seconds. It could be longer, and like I said, up to 400 times a night, so that's dangerous.
It really is dangerous? I mean, I guess another myth, and I've got a few right here, says that it's not dangerous. And that's what a lot of people think. It's not a big deal, you know? So you wake up a couple times, everybody wakes up during the night. And especially as you get older like me. When you're an elderly guy like me, you wake up a lot. So.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
You're 7 times more likely to have a motor vehicle accident. It's going to increase your risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, twice as likely to die in your sleep. So it's extremely dangerous. You're not getting oxygen at night, so it affects every cell in your body.
So besides just being tired, it'll actually shorten your lifespan.
Yes, absolutely. If you have severe sleep apnea and it's not being treated, you could take 10 years off of your life.
Now I've got another myth here that says that it blocks your breath. True or false?
That is true. Obstructive sleep apnea does block your airway at night. There are different types of sleep apnea. There's central sleep apnea, where your brain tells your body, it doesn't tell your body to breathe at all. And so that's a serious condition. However, the most common type of sleep apnea is obstructive sleep apnea. That's when our airway collapses at night while we're sleeping, and so we don't breathe. And it's a periodic thing. It's not necessarily constant. If it happened for too long, you would die. You know, so,
Wow.
but it does lead to all these serious conditions, and it collapses.
That central sleep apnea you talked about is kind of intriguing. I mean, is your brain kind of messing with you on that? Or?
Yes, that can be much more complex. It can be associated with obstructive sleep apnea. You can have mixed apneas, and oftentimes, you know, it can occur to where we can manage the obstructive part, and then some central sleep apneas start to show up. But that is typically associated with chronic diseases and illnesses. It's less than 20% of the population typically has.
When you talk about obstructive sleep apnea, just for the layman, what's obstructive? It's not like you have a Lego caught in your throat or something. What's the obstruction?
Your airway. Your airway is collapsing while you're sleeping. So that's why sleeping on your back is the worst position, because you lay back and gravity pulls the tongue back. There's excess tissue in the airway. Sometimes there might be large tonsils. You know, the uvula that hangs down the back of the throat, the punching bag.
Yeah, a little punching bag.
Yeah, exactly. That can be excessive, elongated. The tongue especially. The tongue is the beast in the mouth. It's a very large muscle. It can fall back and block the airway. So that's what the appliances help to do. They position the jaw forward so that the tongue stays out of the way, and allows the airway to be splinted open or stay open. You know, so that's
I guess, you know, weight and fitness probably has a lot to do with that too. I would imagine people who are overweight might have more of a problem with apnea.
Yes, 60% of the people that are diagnosed with sleep apnea are overweight. However, 40% are not. Now, with saying that, if you lose weight, say you're overweight, and you lose up to 10% of your body weight, you can decrease your diagnosis, you know, drastically. So it could potentially be a cure for some people, but for most people, you know, 40% that aren't overweight, it's more of an anatomy issue. It's underdevelopment in the mid part of the face or the airway. So that's going to require something different.
Yeah, and that's kind of a flaw. That's a design flaw, I suppose, if so many people get it.
Well, 80% of the population studies show that up to 80% of the population of people are underdeveloped in the mid part of their face. So therefore, this can be a very common problem, and it is, but we're just not screening correctly for it overall as a society.
Well, at Emerald Coast Dental Sleep Medicine, you can actually cure this with the appliances that you use in your practice. Is that right?
We do have one revolutionary appliance that in most cases we actually can resolve their sleep apnea. It depends on if you're mild, moderate, severe, what you're presenting with, but we have had much success in that, and we're happy to be able to offer it in our area. Dr.
Tara Griffin, thank you so much for getting us smart on this stuff, and continued success to you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. I happened to be in the neighborhood, and I stopped in at Forest Park Animal Hospital to visit my friend, Dr. Stephen Favaloro. Stephen, thanks so much for letting me behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Here, you know?
Thanks for stopping by.
You know, something was bothering me, and I wanted to ask you a question. Just anecdotally, you know,
Right.
dogs eat a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
And my sister-in-law's dog ate some hair scrunchies and had to have them taken out.
Right? Isn't that crazy to do stuff like that? I had to remove 20 of those from a cat's stomach once.
20 scrunchies
Absolutely.
from a cat?
Why would you eat one, let alone 20?
I guess they're chewy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe the salt from the hair, something like that.
What are some of the things you've taken out of that?
Well, you know, it's interesting that you stopped by today, because we had a case just recently where a dog came in on Monday, wasn't feeling good, and then so took some x-rays, everything looked okay, sent it home. A couple days later, still not feeling well, did some barium, it's not moving, so we ended up going to do surgery, and this is what we got. In fact, here comes Daisy now. Here's our little culprit.
Oh, geez. Hi, Daisy.
Hey, Daisy.
Now, what did you take out of Daisy?
Well, when you get in there, it's all mixed up with everything that's in the stomach and intestine. But once we got it out and talked to the owner, it was at one time an elephant.
What?
So
okay,
apparently,
hold on a second. I'm gonna put my gloves on here. What's the gloves?
So
that was like a
apparently-
toy elephant.
I don't think this dog's an Alabama fan.
Just can't get enough of that elephant, huh?
But you can't see it really good, or really well, I should say, in these bags. I think it's double bagged for the smell. So apparently, the viewers at home will be spared that.
Yeah, no smell-o-vision yet.
But yeah, this is what was
That
stuck
was-
in the intestines of this dog.
That came out of that dog's insides.
Absolutely.
That is all. It's like felt and fiber. And
Yep.
God knows. Oh my Lord, the smell. You can put it back in now, Doc.
So it's funny these things that we find. Usually it's cloth. Like pantyhose, socks, mops, gloves. Very rarely, bones. Very rarely will we find like rawhides and things like that. Rawhides, I think it's 19 years I've never removed a rawhide out of a dog's
I
abdomen
guess they
before.
kind of pass or whatever.
Yeah, they tend to be a little slippery.
But it's those things that are not really
things that
soluble.
are real absorbent that they'll swell a little bit and they'll just get stuck. I'll go ahead and clean that for you.
I wish you could smell what I'm smelling now.
But
And I guess to be a veterinarian, you have to have a strong stomach.
yeah,
too.
and so what happens is these dogs will eat these foreign bodies, and sometimes if they're in the stomach, you can go in with an endoscope and take them out. But sometimes if it's too big to come back out where it came from, then what we'll have to do is open them up. And let's see if Daisy will kind of lay down on her side, and we can show you what we did.
So you had to make an
Hey, baby,
incision
do.
in this poor little Daisy.
Yeah, come here, baby.
All right.
This foot over here. Oh, all right, boom.
Oh my, yeah.
So here's Daisy's incision, where we had to go in. And so that looks real good, and we want to make sure she doesn't lick at it or anything like that.
And how long ago did she have this operation?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
poor Daisy.
she's doing a lot better than I would be if I had my abdomen opened up.
She's a real trooper.
Yes, she is. So, I guess, the important thing, if we wanted to have a take-home message from, something like this is, probably not the worst idea in the world to try to dog-proof your house if you have dogs that like to chew these kind of things. So,
like kids' toys, stuffed animals.
Absolutely. Like, I don't know, about 10 years ago, I removed a little Lego head out of this cat's intestines, and of course, a barium would go right through it because it's hollow on both sides, so it was hard to see on X-ray. So we just went in because we knew it wasn't getting better. Open the intestines in the space of a Lego.
Little Lego person living in there.
Yeah, that was the most expensive Lego that lady ever bought. She said, socks. My personal dog used to eat socks all the time. I go in the backyard, scoop in the yard. It'd be socks all over like every couple of weeks. I think I had the most mismatched sock drawer in Bay County.
You gotta check the dog's stool for you.
But like
for a
toys,
match.
kids' toys, shoes. If your dog has tendencies to do these things, it's a good idea to pick these things up, gloves, things like that, because inevitably, if you have a dog that likes to chew things and they throw up, one or twice, it's like, oh, okay, my dog just ate my glove, like workers' gloves, and those are the dogs that are going to end up at the veterinary clinic one day.
Holy mackerel! What are some of the stranger things you've taken out? That Lego head is pretty good.
Lego
One of
head
the
is
ladies
pretty
was, one of your technicians was telling me they took out a thong.
Well, no, what happened was we had a dog that came in for a spay. So we spayed it, and then the next morning when we came in the dog's cage was a pair of ladies' underwear, tiger stripe. So needless to say, she was a little embarrassed when we asked her if these were hers.
And the dog just threw it up. And,
yeah.
Oh boy, those pets will eat anything.
Absolutely.
So, you just got to keep them separate and keep them healthy. And Stephen, thanks so much for letting us behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
And letting us. I hope Daisy gets well.
She's going to do just fine.
All right.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Valerie Sale from Bay County Animal Services. And Valerie, who do you have with you today?
Good morning,
Good
Don.
morning.
This is Murphy. He's about a 3-month-old terrier mix, and so he's only 3 months old. I think he's going to get a little bigger than this. He probably weighs, 15 pounds right now or 20, but he'll get a little bigger than that. But he's really cute as he can be.
He
and
is
sweet.
cute.
And he's already been neutered, so he's good to go.
Yeah.
He's ready to go home with somebody. So for a small fee, you can get a new pet.
So $25, you can bring Murphy home with you.
That's right. The fee is only $25. That includes a whole host of things, including the spay or neuter surgery, in his case, neuter. It also includes a microchip and his first round of shots, a flea treatment. So, you know, he's good to go.
All the things that you would pay money out of your pocket for if you were to go purchase a dog.
That's exactly
are
right.
included in this cute little package right here we call Murphy.
That's exactly right.
Hey, buddy.
And so, he's ready to go home with somebody, and he would make a great pet for a family or somebody who's looking for a puppy, you know.
Yeah. And what's his story? Do we know what his story is?
He was a stray running at large. So in the Springfield area.
He's just running the streets, huh?
Yeah, just roaming the streets, and so he needs a good home. I mean, we were talking a little bit earlier. He looks almost like he's some kind of fancy breed or whatever. But
you're a fancy boy, aren't you?
He's Murphy. Yeah, he's a good boy.
So how do we get in touch with you guys? Do we go to the website? Do we call on the phone? Or
you can go on Bay County's website, baycountyfl.gov, and there are links there for animal services, or you can call 767-3333.
767-3333.
That's right.
$25, cash and carry. You can bring this cute guy home with you and have a new family member. And we will see you guys next time.